This man you are seeing here is a NATO member from Ukraine. His name is Dr. Felega. He's a member of NATO. So in this video you are seeing, I know many of you may know him, or you may just be seeing him right now. But he's a very big supporter of Biafran movement and a freedom fighter. And also he have support so many countries to have independence and to have their own freedom, like the way Nigeria, Biafran, and Nigeria is doing. And in this video, he explained more about Kosovo country under Soviet Union. So how when they get their independence, what happens, and the things that happens then, that the Biafran, they should not give up in their fight, they should not give up on their struggle, that they should keep moving, that they will eventually get what they are looking for at the end. It is when they start giving up, it is when they will not get where they are going. So as it is, they should not give up. And also is supporting the world, the UN, and other world power to look into what is going on in Nigeria, and the pain and the suffering of people in Nigeria, that time have come for the European world, for the world power, US, EU, and other world leaders to look into what is happening in Nigeria. Not only the killing that is going on, there are so many things, and the other countries that is agitating for them to be free in Nigeria. So the US should grant the people who want to be free a freedom, and those who want to remain in Nigeria also to make them to remain in Nigeria in a free way, without subjugating them into suffering and into buying of people everywhere. So in this video, you are going to hear from him directly. He is going to explain a lot of things concerning the Kosovo, the NATO, and other things happening within the European Union, and the things happening within the Biafra. So don't skip any part of the video. Try to watch it to the end. As you're about to watch, like, subscribe, and share the video to go around. Let others see things going on in Biafra land.
Dear friends, I'm very happy that I have my new Biafra flag here. And that's really wonderful. Biafra must be free, must be liberated. Yesterday I was participating in the 1-year celebration of the Biafra Independence Declaration. It's very much, unfortunately, similar to what happened in Kosovo. You see here the Kosovo Independence Declaration. That was in 2008. But already in 1991, I think in 1990 actually, in Kačanik, Kosovo declared independence, and it took a long time. It took a long time for recognizing Kosovo, and some countries have not even seen the light today. And that's very unfortunate, but even much more unfortunate is the situation of the Christian people of Biafra, of all people in Biafra, because they experienced this apartheid, this genocide that the Kosovo Albanians have experienced, especially in this very difficult time from 1990, from basically when Milosevic declared the war against everybody in Yugoslavia, and he was basically in the 28th of June in 98, he went to the Kosovo Polje, Amstelfeld, however you call it, Fush Kosovo, and there at this memorial he declared war on all of the people of Yugoslavia. And then this led to 10 years of disaster, and we could have avoided all this war when we had recognized Kosovo's independence in the first place. In Kačanik, when it was declared, I think it was in December 1990, and then in 91 we could have all recognized it. George Bush, the father, he made this famous Christmas ultimatum against Milosevic and said, do not touch the Kosovo Albanians. And that is what Mr. Trump must also now do very clearly. Do not touch the Biafra Christians and the corrupt and disastrous elite of Nigeria. And here it is very clear. The parallels are very clear. We waited too long. We let then the apartheid system and all these massacres in Bosnia happen, and later Milosevic decided to go to full-scale genocide against the Kosovo Albanians in 97, 98, and then the combined forces of the resistance of the Albanians and of course the people of the NATO, ultimately, America. Thanks a lot, America, for liberation. This was then liberating the people and ending the genocide in 99 with NATO intervention, and every single bomb was justified at that moment, and it was necessary to free the Kosovo Albanians. And now the Kosovo Albanians have independence declared. 115 good countries in the world have recognized it, and it's fine, and some few confused leftovers like Spain, Romania, Slovakia, Greece, Ukraine, unfortunately, despite my major efforts in the last decade, have not recognized it, but most of the free world has, yeah, and that's very good. So we have achieved freedom, we have secured freedom, we have protected freedom. That's very good. Bravo, Kosovo, a wonderful case. And you see the parallel between the failed state Nigeria, high inflation, genocide, crimes, massacre, insecurity, misery, disaster, and a few at the top which you get ever richer with the natural resources. It was more or less the same in Yugoslavia, just there were less natural resources and they were all going down. And then basically Milosevic declared war and everybody stole with his half a billion German mark loan against the national authorities, and then he stole everything and he started the war to hide everything up, and it was all going down in misery. And here is the parallel between Nigeria and Yugoslavia. It's going down in misery, it is a failed state, there is no reason for it to continue, and Biafra will live in freedom. But the necessary thing, and here's the tragic parallel, it takes so long for the international community to understand that. And we wait and wait because we love our system as it is now, because we are structurally conservative. We want to keep it like the status quo. We always want to keep the states as they are. And, you know, of course, we don't want to change them by aggression, like the Russians are doing it in Ukraine and taking over Anschluss style, like Hitler did it with Austria. He's taking over Crimea, and then in a full-scale aggression, Hitler style, he's taking over some parts of Ukraine. He will never keep it. We will definitely liberate Ukraine. Ukraine will liberate itself with our help, but he is continuing to try and to do these major terrible things. But of course, we should not be structurally kind of so conservative in a sense that we don't allow freedom. We must allow freedom, and the respect of freedom must be including also when nations are somehow broken and they are no longer delivering the services, security and prosperity that everybody has a right in, and there are suppressed nations where there is genocide, then we definitely have the right for this next step, and that's the assisted breakup of nations. That's the Fellinger doctrine in the making here in the case of ex-Nigeria. And this is the example, of course, Kosovo. I love it very much. It's a wonderful country. I have here the head of Kosovo, because Kosovo now also has elections 28th of December. I will be very active on that one as well. And I will just support and the good side who are really then trying to get Kosovo into NATO. But the whole thing is, it's free now, it's secure now, and it is absolutely a success story. And only people who don't know the Balkan history and have no idea, I lived there 15 years, I know exactly what's going on. The situation is that we have to see that as a role model for Biafra. Kosovo, Biafra, Biafra, Kosovo. This is the thing. In the German-speaking mind, we still have the idea Biafra is just starving children. But why are they starving children? Because of this tragic mistake of the West, that we didn't support the independence in the 1967 to 70, and we let the Nigerian centralist, disaster, socialist tyrants to starve them into death. Millions died because of our mistakes, and that's very bad. And again, we repeat the mistake here. We don't recognize Biafra Republic. We should recognize the exile government and the exile authorities and tell to the Nigerians, let the Biafra people go. Like we have ultimately enforced it in the case of Kosovo by NATO bombs. And if the Nigerians will not let the Biafra people go, then NATO bombs are the only alternative. America must liberate Biafra. We have not created the global systems that we also respect all religions. that few, Islamic terrorists can kill the Christians like they want and go unpunished. That's not tolerance. That's a total different thing. That's tyranny. If you allow the majority or some extremists to kill Christians who are not protected, that's not respect for the global south. That's tyranny of the few terrorists who will then go on and kill on the rampage people of our faith. And that we cannot allow. And we have protected. By the way, let's not mix it up. It's not about religion. We have protected the Kosovo Albanians. They are 95% Muslims. And we will protect the Biafra Christians, who are Christians. And, they have deserved, as human beings, our support. And they have not deserved to be killed. And they have not deserved to be genocided. Nobody has in the world. And they must be protected, like we protect the Ukrainians, the Kosovo Albanians, the Biafra Christians. And that's very logical. If you think about it, Fellinger Doctrine is absolutely logically and consistent. And I call for independence of Biafra Republic and also for the EU to support this independence and to say very clearly to the Nigerian authority, either it's a free federal Nigeria or there will be a Yugoslavian scenario. And this is what I actually recommend, because now all the 7 countries who came out of Yugoslavia live much better than this failed, terrible terror state Yugoslavia ever was. And it was a terror state, and it was a failed state, and it never worked, and it's much better if it doesn't exist anymore. And by the way, remove all the Tito monuments, the Tito schools, the Tito high schools, from Macedonia, Montenegro, Bosnia, where they are still around, if you want to join the European Union, because no Tito in the European Union, that is absolutely impossible. It was a disaster, failed state, and nobody who somehow loves Tito can join the European Union, to be very clear. And here we are now. I wish you a happy Independence Day, and the fight for freedom continues, for Biafra freedom. Absolutely, let's celebrate the free world, and the free world is with you, free people of Biafra, and we should help you, and we will. Thanks a lot. This is Günther Fellinger-Jahn speaking here from Vienna.
Oh yes, this is a very nice move and a very wake-up call to every Biafran people, everybody looking for the freedom of his nation, because he did not say about only the Biafra. He talks about any country, any country at all looking for freedom, that they are in to support them. And then the thing happening in Nigeria, if the Nigerian government did not want to grant the Biafran people referendum, that they are going to make sure that NATO comes in, and the US government come in, and the other world leaders come in to make sure that Biafra is free. Because this time is no more the days when they fought 1967 to 1970, when they fought war and they did not support the movement of Biafra because they did not know what is happening then. But as it is now, time have come for them to join hand to support the freedom of Biafra. And all those things, the cause of the British, the cause of the white, the cause of the British and the UK, that they are looking for money, and they are looking for resources to be controlling people here and there, and all those things is what is going on and what happened. This same problem is what happened to Kosovo, but today Kosovo is now a country, and they are now getting their they have now gotten their independence and stand as a country. And those years that Kosovo is under the Soviet Union, and they are fighting and they are doing many things in many years. So the same thing that is going on in Biafra, but very soon that Biafra will also get their own independence. So it is a very, very good, welcome development, and it's a wake-up call for everyone that is Biafra. So I will allow you to watch this video where this man explains things happening in the north, and how the Fulanis, the Janjaweeds, and how those people, the bandits, used to do their operation in the north, and how they used to buy the Christians once they want to carry on their operation. So don't skip any part of it. Try to watch it to the end for you to understand things going on in Nigeria, where we say we are in peace or we are in one Nigeria. So sit by and don't skip any part.
1993 in 1992-93 in Kaduna, a riot broke out which they call the Zango Kataf riot. I was a young boy, very, very young then, and people were killed in scores. If you are not an Hausa person practicing Muslim in Islam, they were killed. Especially if you are from the southern part of Kaduna, the tribes from the southern part of Kaduna, they were massacred. It was called the Zango Kataf riot. And if the next thing they do is to burn churches, kill Christians, and then if they're done with that, then they focus on businesses that is for Igbo people, Igbo owned businesses, and they destroyed it. I grew up knowing that Christians are an endangered species in Nigeria. In the year 2000, when the Sharia riots, how many of you have heard of the Sharia riot? Hundreds of thousands of people were killed in Kaduna. I can remember vividly that we had to defend our house from people. They brought some Fulani boys and they faced our house. They were shooting arrows. They were stoning our zinc. They spot our zinc, shooting arrows. Even though I was a Muslim then, even though my father was a Muslim then, but because majority of the people in our compound were Christians, so they were willing to destroy every one of us because we're living with Christians. I can remember a particular church in Mando, for those that know Mando, in Kaduna, called Chapel of Redemption. That church was destroyed. And so from that time, anytime there's a little hanky-panky in Nigeria, the first target is churches and Christians. And this has prevailed for a long time. That even if there's a problem with in another country, the Muslim and the Hausas in Nigeria will rise up and begin to kill Christians. How many of you remember the Miss World crisis in 2002, 2001, 2002? That somebody drew a picture of Muhammad or something in France, long away in France, and they began to fight in Nigeria. Are you following me? Christians are endangered species. Now let me give you, and that's how it has continued. Scores have been killed, and they focus on regions where there is a mixture of both Christianity and Islam. If you look at states like Kaduna, states like Plateau State, states like Nasarawa, states like Taraba, states like Benue, states like Bauchi, states like Gombe, states like Borno. These are places where they focus on because they intend to eliminate every living Christian in that place. Anybody that debunks is a total lie, because I have grown and lived in the north. I've spent 80 to 80% of my life in the north, so I understand this thing. Several times, I cannot forget the Sharia riot. We were running for our lives. Even though we were Muslims, but we're still running, because as far as you are not of that ethnic group, practicing what they practice, you are a victim. You can be burnt alive. Many of us saw human beings that were burnt alive, like roasted like yam. And it has been going on for a long time. The genocide against the Christian faith. Are you with me? Many years ago, in Kano State, a man was beheaded. And anything they talk about, he said blasphemy. And guess who was the person that led it? The man called Sanusi, Lamido Sanusi, was the one that led him on. And they beheaded him, they killed the Igbo man. They killed him and they put his head on the stake and they were using it to parade the city. You will understand of a woman also that is an evangelist. Evangelist Eunice that was preaching about 2016 or 18 in Abuja. And they killed her. We cannot talk about a young girl called Deborah Samuel that was killed. I schooled in Jos, and for years, the people of Plateau have been massacred. Riot breaking out every single time. The world that the moment anything happens, the next people that are victims are Christians. And it is unfortunate that all these years the government have not been able to do anything about it. But the agenda is deep. Are you with me this morning? Why am I saying? Because I don't want us to be an ignorant people. If we are ignorant people, they will control the narrative. And these days, let me tell you this truth. God will not come and fight for you. Remove that thing from your mind. If Christians don't rise up, pray from now till tomorrow. God is not coming to fight for you. Are you with me?
Imagine something like this will keep happening in a country. When people rise up to speak against the injustice, against the genocide that is going on in the country, some of the government officials and some of the politicians and some of the pastors will claim that it is not a genocide. There is nothing that is going on in Nigeria. When the US Army and other foreign countries is looking into to come and fight against those genocide, then the government and some people will be claiming there is not like genocide in Nigeria. And these Islamic people, they know what they are doing. They know they are chasing to conquer every zone, everywhere in this country. But due to that, they don't know how to do it. Then they switch into this banditry of something. They name it turn it into another name. Once it happened, they will tell you it is a Christian, it is a farmer's head that crashes. It is pure total genocide and the pure jihadist they are doing. So, well, I know that their end have come, because this time around, whatever they do, they will never go free on it. So I would like to hear your comment down below. Like, subscribe, and share the video to go around. And then I would like to hear, what do you see and what do you suggest about things happening in the country. Thank you for watching.